because, like you said, Craters of the Moon. The reason why we went there is because none of us had been to Idaho, and we thought we got to go do something in Idaho. Idaho does not have national parks, but they had a couple national monuments. That one was like the highest rated or on the best route. We really didn't do our research. It was just like, okay, we're going to Idaho. This is in Idaho. Let's do this thing.
Right.
And yeah, you and AJ at some point, I let you go because you were crawling through a cave, through dripping water in a space that I could have fit. I mean, we all would have fit, but I wasn't dressed for it. AJ wasn't dressed for it.
Yeah.
Not that any of us were dressed for it, but I'm like, okay, you guys, you're young, you do it. Explain a little more about either that cave or what you really liked about it.
Yeah, that was the Boy Scout cave, I believe. There was a bunch of little different caves and caverns, but this one was different because you actually had a way to go all the way through and enter at some. You could there was some light at the end of the tunnel or whatever, and you had the ability to crawl your way out as well, which was really cool to just make it all the way through that. So we were going through there and we had terrible lighting because we don't have flashlights. We were just using our flashlight on our cameras as we're taking a video crawling through there and scraping up our arms and our legs and stuff. But it was just a cool experience, and as soon as I saw light at the end of the tunnel, I'm like, yep, we got to do this. There's no way we can't.
That one was one of 4 or 5 caves that we went into, and they all were pretty cool. But I'd say that was I suppose the biggest surprise. You went in there exploring in. Getting out of it, I saw the sign perfectly explain what would happen in there when you looked at the diagram, but I didn't look at it, didn't think about it.
Right.
And then afterwards, oh yeah, you need to be flat for the middle half of it, and then you emerge on the other side, walking out, which you did. I didn't know where you two went. I probably knew you were trapped in there because I was waiting a while, and then suddenly you walk around the corner. I'm like, where'd you come from? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We didn't know where you went. We got out pretty quick. You went down the other tunnel for the cave, and we were like, did Kurt try to follow us, or you go back for the GoPro? And we were kind of, or at least I was like, did Kurt try to follow us and get stuck or something? You have a panic attack, and I'm getting claustrophobic, getting stuck in this cave or whatever. So I go in 2 times, one in the front, looking, saying Kurt, trying to figure out where you are. And then it's I have in the back of my mind that a feral person take Kurt, and I'm like, come on, that's just a bad projection. Don't think that. I mean,
nobody wants me. No, that will never.
You're fine now, so it's all good. But yeah, so I went in the front entrance, then I came in the back where me and AJ exited, and then eventually you came out. You said you were in the other tunnel. We're like, whew, there we go. But yeah.
And AJ's back there in the video. I don't think that we have with our microphone setups, it's going to be kind of tricky to get good audio from him. So AJ, just hear what we're saying and capture some thoughts that you want to share from time to time, but not all the time. So we'll get to him in a little bit with his perspective on some of these things.
Yeah.
So yeah, the caves, I went into another one, as you said, but I thought I had all kinds of time. I'd go in there, get out. So wait, were you actually out there looking for me when I was in that cave?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I didn't realize that at all.
Yeah.
And in that cave, I hit my head, and that was.
We thought you hit.
Yeah, we had you. Yeah, we thought you hit your head in the other cave, and we're knocked out. And I was
it could happen.
Well, that's what we thought, and we're like, oh, he could have gone to the GoPro, and then we went around, and Chase crawled back through the cave we were going into.
Yeah.
And then I went back around and went through the other way, and we met halfway, and we're like, where's Kurt? And then we went back, and it's oh, he probably went to the car, and then by the time we got back, you were already there standing, waiting for us.
You're like,
what are these guys doing?
And it was easy for me to hit my head, I guess easy in the sense that, like you described, we're using the flashlights on our phone, and in that case, I was pointing down to make sure I stepped properly because we're stepping on rocks that are very uneven.
Yep.
And in the meantime, there was a big rock sticking out of the wall, the only one, and I bonked my head on it, and that wasn't fun, but I was all by myself. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just keep going and not cry. So yeah, that was cool. So there was other ones there. There was this huge one, I think they called it Indian Tunnel, that had a bunch of openings in top. It was very long, not as tight or dangerous in that way. None of these are that dangerous, but certainly you can get hurt if you're not careful.
Yeah, you got to be careful because there's also ice. I mean, you're 500 feet under the ground or whatever, and so you got ice in there too, and sometimes it's a little slippery. you could slip and fall and crack your head or whatever. So yeah, you got to be careful.
And that was Craters of the Moon National Monument in southern Idaho. And by my best recollection of trying to learn how that thing developed, that was a couple thousand years ago. A volcano in that area erupted, and this is like the leftover lava. And the caves, at least in some way, are where the lava would have come out of the ground from back at that time. And it's still there. People can go there, and something might happen again in the future to change it.
Yep.
But there it is, and that was very unique. Of the, I think it was 14 national parks or monuments that we were on.
Yeah.
That was, a lot of them are like unique experiences, but that one was very different than everything else.
Yeah, for sure.